Seth Speaks, The Eternal Validity of the Soul by Jane Roberts, read by Martin John, continuation of the final part, Appendix, Session 594, September 13, 1971, 9:40 p.m., Monday. Now I bid you a good evening, and our friend. Objects are symbols. You think of them simply as realities. You think of thoughts, images, and dreams sometimes as being symbolic of other things. But the truth is that physical objects are themselves symbols. They are the exterior symbols that stand for inner experience. There are, therefore, mass physical symbols upon which you all agree, as well as private, personal symbols. The whole nature and structure of physical life as you know it is a symbolic statement made by groups of entities who choose to work with physical symbolism. So the body is a symbol for what you are, or what you think you are, and these may be two different things indeed. Any physical ailment is symbolic of an inner reality or statement. Your entire life is a statement in physical terms, written upon time as you understand it. New paragraph. Once you understand the symbolic nature of physical reality, then you will no longer feel entrapped by it. You have formed the symbols, and therefore you can change them. You must learn, of course, what the various symbols mean in your own life and how to translate their meaning. To do so, you must first of all remind yourself frequently that the physical condition is symbolic, not a permanent condition. Then you must look within yourself for the inner actuality represented by the symbol. This same process can be followed regardless of the nature of the problem or of your challenge. Your intimate physical environment is, therefore, a symbolic statement of an inner situation. The inner situation is a fluid one, for you are always in a state of becoming. Left alone, you will automatically translate the freely moving, spontaneous inner events into physical reality, therefore altering your environment and changing the symbols. If, however, you imagine that the environment or physical condition is the reality, then you can feel trapped by it and spend your efforts fighting a paper dragon. The environment is always altered from the inside. There is instant feedback between the interior and exterior conditions, but the mobility, the necessity, and the method of changing the physical environment will always come from within. Many of the ideas given in this book can be used most advantageously to solve personal problems. If these concepts are understood, then the individual should realize the freedom he has to operate purposefully within the structure of physical life. Many of you are so used to looking outward and accepting the physical world as the criteria for reality that it has not occurred to you to look within. The entire framework of your existence, therefore, is constantly flowing from within outward and being projected into those physical symbols that you mistake, then, for reality. The interior drama, therefore, is always the important one. The story of your life is written by you, by each reader of this book. You are the author. There is no reason, therefore, for you to view the drama and feel trapped by it. The power to change your own condition is your own. You have only to exercise it. To some other types of consciousness, your physical reality is clearly understood in its symbolic form. Objects, as symbols, help construct the very framework of your existence. They, the objects, can then be manipulated quite freely. Our friend Sue's observations came very close to an excellent description of Rupert's subjective feelings, as he told you during break. I refer readers to Rupert's introduction, in which he compares his own creative experiences as a writer to those he feels in our sessions. There are several points he did not understand, and so here I would like to clear them. New paragraph. In our sessions, he's not aware, consciously, of the creative work that is being done, precisely because he has gone out of the range that the conscious mind can follow. He has projected a portion of himself into an entirely different kind of subjective reality, a different dimension of activity entirely. Referring to his introduction again, he remarks that he misses the excitement of the chase encountered in his own creative work. Here, you see, the acceleration is so rapid and intense that he is not consciously able to follow it. The unconscious, so-called, has little to do with this phenomenon. It is, however, related strongly to qualities inherent within each consciousness. Such ability is rarely used to full advantage. Connections are made so rapidly that the physical brain is not aware of them. Rupert has indeed always possessed this ability to a strong degree. For various reasons, reincarnationally speaking, he allowed himself to remain ignorant of the ways in which the ability could be used for the earlier portion of his life. During sessions, however, all the characteristics of the inner being are accelerated. The knowing, intuitional, creative abilities, working at a rate far beyond what you would call the norm. This is a dimension of existence native to consciousness, however, when it is not physically oriented. Rupert can, and will, learn to explore this dimension even further. Only his lack of confidence in the past has held him back. The acceleration propels him into a state in which he can operate quite well, while going beyond all those normal psychological realities that he would personally call his own. In such a state, he literally uses incredible power. In terms of energy now, and the volume of the voice in many cases is an attempt to help him use some of this and discharge it while he learns how to use it, and until he is taught other purposes to which it can be put. The volume, of course, can also be used as an excellent demonstration of the vitality with which he is in touch. Many of the experiences that Rupert has during our sessions he cannot recall afterward. As physical objects are symbols, existing as realities within certain frequencies, so there are other realities, of course, at different frequencies. But here objects are not the main symbols. Experience within such a dimension is extremely difficult to translate when Rupert is back within the physical system. On my part, there are also adjustments that must be made. I step down several levels, for example, so that contact can be made. I then attempt what is indeed a creative endeavor, in which Rupert participates, The act of translating such inner data into physical terms, bringing into your reality those clues that I can bring you of these other realities of which you are part, seen or viewed from my natural perspective, your objects do not exist. Your inner reality does, of course. Now Rupert's system physically undergoes some changes, although these are largely native to his constitution. He saw to that before this life began. He uses nervous connections in a way that is unusual and to his purpose. His pulse rate is normal. The acceleration begins, however, on a physical level with the use of hormones and chemicals, and then leaps from there. Both halves of the brain spark, and from those connections, speaking physically now, the acceleration is initiated, and its effects on the body are cut off. Many cases of missing persons can be explained somewhat in the same manner, when the acceleration was strong enough, unexpected enough, to sweep the entire personality out of your system. Now, for our friend's sake, I'm speeding up the acceleration to see if she can perceive it. This often takes place during the dream state, and when it seems to you that you have briefly entered in an astonishing new dimension, the dream state itself involves such an acceleration. To some extent or another, each artistic creation, though to a lesser degree, involves the same principle. Now, I cannot keep the additional acceleration up, or the voice will go so quickly that our friend cannot keep to his notes. End session. Peace, light, and love. Aloha.